Just to recap, you can enter the Adobe Connect room by clicking on one of the several links that I have provided for it throughout the course. So I'm going to do that now. Again, it will prompt you to put in your name. I'm just going to put in my informal name and enter the room. Now, again, the connection will take a little bit of time. This is the basic layout of an Adobe Connect room if you're a student or a participant. Um, as you can see, there are several parts of the screen worth mentioning here. The first is the address bar, because that's the address of the room that you've entered. For instance, if you save this address or copy this address, you can open it up in another web browser or another window, or save it to somewhere on your computer for reference. Also, as you can see here, there's a little Rutgers logo because Adobe Connect is hosted through Rutgers or licensed through Rutgers. Notice the Meetings tab where your audio setup wizard is located, the speaker icon which allows you to mute and unmute, and the raise hand or ask question button. Let's click on the Meetings tab again and access the audio setup wizard. As you can see, another window pops up. Usually the audio setup wizard doesn't need to be run by students. However, if you're experiencing audio problems, it's a good place to start. Begin by clicking the next button. As a student, the only setting you will be testing is the playback, which is the first test. And if you hear that sound through your speakers or headphones, then you're good to go. The rest of the settings are pretty extraneous unless you are a host or presenter. On that second screen there, as you can see, I'm adjusting which sound device I'm using. If you're a student, your chances are you're probably using your default sound device. I'm just going to quickly hit next on the audio wizard screens, and then we will move on to the pods. The area highlighted in red is the main area where the presenter will share their information, be it a lecture, desktop sharing, or a whiteboard. Next, I'll introduce pods such as the Files pod, which allows you to download files that your instructor shares, the Web Links pod, which allows you to access web links posted by your instructor, the Poll pod, which you can answer the poll question posed to the class, the chat pod where you can chat either with your instructors or other attendees in the class, the attendees pod where you can see who is in the class and what their roles are, and the video pod which will display your instructor's webcam. In general, these pods are pretty simple to use and self-explanatory. At the top right corner of each pod, there's a little symbol with 3 lines, and there you will be able to access various pod options depending on what the functionality of the pod is. Right now I'm just showing some of the different options that are available for the chat pod. Please see the Adobe documentation guides for more information on how to use pods. Lastly, I just want to cover some of the options of the raise hand icon. As you can see by clicking on the icon and highlighting it, a little raised hand symbol will appear next to your name. Also, if you click the little right arrow next to the raise hand pod, you get several options of ways that you can interact with your instructor, such as asking them to speak more loudly or more softly, or faster or slower, or even giving applause or laughter. This pretty much covers the basic functionality of Adobe Connect for students. Please proceed to the next section. Thanks.